Matchroom Sport have come out today and officially announced that Kell Brook will defend his IBF World Welterweight title on May 30th against Frankie Gavin and it's pay-per-view. It's pay-per-view, people. What did I tell you? Now, to be fair, most people, in the last video I did about this fight, most people accepted the idea that this was a fight that was going to happen sooner or later, because that's just the way Eddie Hearn's mind was going. And most people accepted that it would be pay-per-view, but there was still a few doubters there saying, nah, Hatman, come on, you're giving Eddie a hard time. It's not going to be pay-per-view. It's just going to be a normal fight. People, you have to understand the way a person's mind works. You have to understand the psychology of that person. You have to understand what makes them tick to be able to accurately predict their behavior. And you also have to understand how a business ticks and what makes a business tick, particularly a business like Sky with the box office model. Okay, now you guys who didn't think this would be pay-per-view or didn't think Brook Gavin would happen, you guys didn't understand the psychology of Eddie Hearn. You didn't understand the way the pay-per-view model with Sky and Eddie Hearn works. And that's why you couldn't see this coming. But for the rest of us, we could see it coming. We know how Eddie Hearn's mind operates. This guy really don't give a fuck at this point in time. Now, there are good things and bad things about every human being, and that obviously goes for promoters too. I like the fact that Eddie Hearn looks after his fighters. I do like that. He seems to treat his fighters very well. But this whole pay-per-view thing is hurting the sport of boxing when you're making fights like this pay-per-view. Because this is obviously not pay-per-view worthy. You know, and actually, to be fair, I thought it was unlikely that it would be pay-per-view for May 30th. I thought Brook Gavin would be pay-per-view maybe in Brook's next fight after this. Right, so to be 100% fair. But I knew that Brook Gavin pay-per-view was coming. Inevitable. Because I know how this guy, Eddie Hearn's mind works. And I know how the Sky business model works. I believe they've got 3 pay-per-views a year, Eddie Hearn and Sky. That's the deal, 3 or 4 pay-per-views a year. So with Carl Froch pretty much in retirement now, or semi-retirement, Eddie Hearn has to find pay-per-view fights from somewhere to fill those slots. He has to do it. If he puts Brook against a Jojo Dan, for example, no one knows Jojo Dan in the UK. The casual fans don't know him. So it's harder to sell that as a pay-per-view. But when it's a domestic rivalry, he saw with the Carl Froch, George Grove situation, that domestic rivalries, even his first pay-per-view that Eddie Hearn ever did, his first promotion was David Hay Audley Harrison. And he saw how a domestic rivalry can sell in the UK, and you can make that pay-per-view even when it's really a mismatch like Hay Harrison. And it's the same situation here. He knows what sells, or he can sell and get away with selling to the casual boxing public. So no one should be surprised that he's making Kell Brook versus Frankie Gavin a pay-per-view. It was always going to happen, people. So let me know what you think of this. Do you think it's good or bad for British boxing? I'm just going to throw that question out there because there's always going to be people who disagree with me. So if you do disagree and you think that it's not so bad to have this fight pay-per-view, explain your reasons why in the comment section below. And everyone else, let me know how you feel as well. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.